Okay, hello everyone. Okay, we're going to be shooting this. This is a Palmetto AR-15, 16-inch barrel, and we got the what is this? The primary arms 1 to 10 by 28 SLX scope. It's got 34 millimeter tube. And right now we're going to be shooting 300 yards. So we got a little bit of wind. I noticed earlier. It's still blowing. Yeah, it's just blowing a little bit to the left. Okay. So this first focal plane, so we're going to zoom all the way. Not this second focal plane. I want to get they came out with a first focal plane version of this. I want to get, but this is second focal plane. So I'm just gonna. There's like a right there. There's like a clothespin that's holding that up. I'm gonna hold the legs just left of that for the wind. What I'm doing is like I'm expecting the bullets to impact where the spine is, right? Where like right that part right there, that's now on a clothespin. So, but it's just easier for me to use the chevron as a holding point. And basically, I'm shooting on a CB Life bipod, and no bag in the back. I'm just using my hand to hold the stock in my chest. Just try to control my breath. Should be on five. Yeah, it's 5. Okay, let's pause the camera. I see this piece of shit shifted a little bit. We'll have to adjust it. So my impacts were a little bit high because like I was holding the chevron up here. I think the spine was like over here somewhere. And it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one went over it. I'm going to adjust my zero because basically I want at 300. I want the impacts to basically be on the spine. So I'm going to adjust it down a little bit. And actually, because I was holding a little bit left for the wind, and that's pretty much exactly where it landed. So the wind really didn't have an impact on it. I mean, the wind's doing like weird things throughout this gun range. All right, so what I did is I adjusted down 2 clicks. So that should translate into 3 inches downward, down there. 3 inches down there. So I'm gonna do. See what's that wind doing? I always tend to overestimate the wind at this location. Wind ribbons. They're moving there. They're not moving back there. They're kind of moving back there. I'm gonna take the same hold because I wasn't that far off. Because it's definitely pushing a little. It's always pushing a little bit left at this location. Let me zoom back. There it is. So this is the Palmetto 223 Wylde. This is an 18-inch barrel, and we're shooting Wolf WM193. Definitely picked up a little bit. Just gonna throw shots a little bit. It's coming like, it seems like it's coming straight in. No, definitely picked up. I'm just gonna hold off. Wait for a second for this wind to die down. Yeah, it's coming straight into me, so it shouldn't affect me too much. Okay, here we go. Move the damn camera. Sorry guys. Scope camera moves because of the vibration. Let's go down and take a look. That's gonna be it for today. I gotta be somewhere. So the thing that sometimes throws me off with these second focal plane scopes is like when I zoom up, like I don't like turn the zoomer all the way over. So it's instead of being on 10, it's like on 9 or 9.5, and that will throw you off with the second focal plane scope. First focal plane, you can be in any magnification, and the ball drops or your grid or your range estimating will all be true. But with the second focal plane, you got to make sure you're maxed out, and I've screwed that up a couple of times. All right, let's take a look-see. Yeah, all 5 are in. I mean, one went high here. I don't think I lifted it up that much, so that must be like one of those rounds must have been just a little bit hotter. I mean, I'll have to look at the video again, but I don't recall lifting because he got 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one way up there. I'll look, but I don't think I lifted up that chevron that high. But anyway, let's take a. So the entire group is 10 inches, 10.25 inches at 300 yards with the Wolf. Is it Wolf? Yeah, we said Wolf WM193. But I think that one was like a funny round. The 4 shots, I usually look at the like 4 out of 5 because that's more like an average of what the ammunition's doing. That one is probably 5.5. I'll just call it 6. I'll call it 6 inches. So 6 inches at 300 yards. So that's 2 MOA. 6 inches at 300 yards. 6 inches, 300 yards. That's 2 MOA. So that's pretty decent. And now I feel like this is like, because here's the thing, you have to true out your scope at 300 yards, because it's like the halfway point between like that's halfway from like that's halfway to 600 yards. So at 50 yards, like I thought I had a 50-yard zero, but a lot of times your hold isn't perfect. You might be just, apparently I was holding a little bit high when I zeroed it in. So, I thought I had a 50-yard zero, but then when I came out to 300, I see that I was favoring a little bit high here. So I shifted it down 2 clicks, which now gave me a zero. That's basically, this is more true now to 300 yards, which means that if I'm shooting 500 yards and 600 yards, it's going to be more predictable, and I'll be able to hold, accordingly, because basically at 400 yards, it should be a 2 mil hold, and at 500 yards, it should be like a 3 mil hold at 500 yards. So this will bring it like more true to that. So yeah, 300 yards is where you want to true out your zero. I want to show you guys real quick the gun. Palmetto 223 Wylde. Okay, and the ammunition was this Wolf WM193. That's what we used on that paper at 300 yards. Hey everyone, after reviewing that video, I decided to go back to the original settings that I had. Because if you look at this image, the way I was anchoring with the legs of the chevron on top of the paper, the impacts were actually happening right at the top of the spine, which is 1 mil, which is my 300-yard hold. So it was correct the way it was originally impacting. So in order for me to get the impacts to go a little lower, what I would have to do, instead of putting the legs of the chevron on top of the paper, what I would do is I would put the tip of the chevron at the top of the paper, so that it would impact just a little bit lower. So the video is really useful for I'm starting to see, like, using this technique with the scope camera, I'm starting to see things a lot faster. I'm able to make corrections, because a lot of times when you're shooting, you don't quite see everything in the scope the way you are when you're able to just pause a video and look at a still. So it's a great tool.